Well, hey, and welcome back to Dragonborn Industries with me. I'm Ian, the Dragonborn Bard, and after a couple of weeks off, we're back. It's been a while. I'm glad. Hello, Herbalist. Good to see you. Hello, Fluff. Great to see you. Do let me know, guys, if the volumes are slightly off because I've had to move the studio around a little bit. But yeah, it's good to be back, and we're just gonna test the internet connection tonight because yesterday the cable was trimmed, and that's, you know, just one of the things that happens. And yeah, we're just gonna chill out. We're gonna paint up, or begin to paint up, the four main characters from Resident Evil, the board game. So we've got Jill Valentine, Chris Redfield, Barry Burton, and Rebecca Chambers, who are the four main protagonists of the board game from Steamforged Games that we recently got through. So we're gonna get some base layers on these tonight, chill out, get back in to the swing of streaming. The kids are going back to school. We're gonna get a routine back. It's gonna be all good. How is everybody doing? Right. So, first things first, obviously, like, one of the main things about the characters that we have is Geeky, hello! Boom Month 2, welcome back! We're just saying that we're painting up the characters from Resident Evil, the board game. That does sound loud in my ears, so I might turn that down just a wee bit. Well, let's go to there. Yeah, so we've got Rebecca, Barry, Chris, and Jill. The main thing that separates them out is colour. Of their, usually it's their flak jackets, their armour that they're wearing, their evening Resi Evil. Yeah, I hope you guys are all good. Yeah, because Rebecca's got a green uniform with a sort of like a white medic's top on. Barry is in pretty standard military colours, and then his tunic or his overcoat is red. Then Chris is obviously in green again, and Jill's mostly blue, so that's going to be how we're going to tell them apart. So, let's have a gander at what we're going to do first. Skin tones I don't have to worry too much about because these guys are all white, so it's a pretty simple paint job, to be honest. So I'm going to work out how I want to go about this first, and I'm probably going to do it all wrong. So who should we go with first? Who shall we pick out and begin the base layers on? Chris, Jill, Rebecca, or Barry? I know who my favourite is. But let's see if you guys want to see me start on anybody in particular. So I will grab out some of the other colours while we wait. Revolver Barry and Rebecca. Okay, they're the first two up. I think that'll be quite fun. Rebecca's got two, Barry's got one. You guys know me so well. Rebecca is. Oh, you can run a poll if you want, Geeky, for all three of you in chat that have already answered, but very happy for you to run a poll. However, I will grab some red and some, not blue. Blue's for Jill. I want some green. So, and I want some red. So I think I'm going to be going with the standard Caliban green for any kind of like moving up to the kind of like olive drabs. Hello, hello. How you doing? Welcome in. We've had a couple of weeks off because we had our family down, but yesterday we were supposed to be back with Dice Masters, and my internet cable got cut by the garden strimmer, and I had to have Fluffy here repair it for me. And she did, and we're back. So we're testing the internet tonight. We're just doing a little bit of miniature painting with some Resident Evil stuff. How are you? I hope you are well. So far, the two characters that people have picked are Rebecca and Barry, and they are going to be the guys that we go for first. So well, yeah, it does suck, but it's one of those things. It happens, you know. It could have been worse. The roof could have fallen in, and then I've got no studio at all. So I'm just happy that we're still here, and it's only a cable. So I'm going to grab up some references so I can properly have a look. Barry Burton. So he's got a pretty pretty dark grey trousers and sort of a white shirt. Everything else is pretty standard. And let's bring up Rebecca Chambers. It's quite nice as well. The last time I saw you guys was the giveaway. Dude, that's really sweet. That's very, 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 very sweet of you, Geeky. Funnily enough, I started painting my first Ender Mini like 5 minutes ago. Hello, what are you painting? So, as far as characters go, Rebecca is... gonna look something alike. That's a pretty standard Rebecca image. Whoa. God, my friend's filthy. Is it a D&D mini, is it? Or are you painting up something else? So we have Rebecca just there. So she's a lot of greens, and then she's got that white medic vest on. And then Barry, Barry Burton, is a lot of greys and the red. So that's what we're going to go for. So we'll start on those guys. We'll start getting some base layers down, shall we? Hello, the miniature painting community is amazing out here. Like, not necessarily just like this channel, but like the whole of Instagram, the whole of like social media tends to be pretty good for people sharing techniques and stuff. I get my D&D mini this weekend, and it has to be printed first. Nice! That's awesome. That's very, very, very cool. I'm a big fan. As a lot of people will know of printing minis. Because I do that here for me and my players. Are you getting a Hero Forge custom one, or is it a one that you found that mostly suits your character the best? Yeah, Hero Forge are great. I freaking love them. I've got another company that I use as well. It's called Titan Forge or Titan Craft Minis, and I backed one of their things on Kickstarter, and they are a lot like Hero Forge, but they're like a slightly newer company, so things aren't quite as smooth as Hero Forge yet, but they are still very, very good. And as a Kickstarter, it was great to back. But yeah, I do like Hero Forge, and I find that like most of the time, I do still go to Hero Forge as my go-to for custom minis. So we're going to begin by going over those trousers with the Caliban green. So this, for anybody who paints Dark Angels, is your base for most of those minis. We've primed them in black because Resident Evil is quite a dark game, and it's very easy if I miss a spot to just shade or like have thin paint and have the black primer do the majority of the shading work. Because I try not to use washers where I can these days. And I'm just applying a very thin layer of that Caliban green all over. Thanks for introducing me to Band of Badgers. I'm going to be doing a paint stream with them. And Richard, hey! Oh, Herbs! You should... I'm probably going to message you after this, because I'm also doing a paint stream with Richard and the band this month. I wonder if we're doing the same one, or if we're doing separate ones. Either way, Dave and Steve are awesome, and they are like the kings of networking, and yeah, welcome to the band. It's amazing. Yeah, that would be very, very, very cool. I think I'd quite like to get you in on one of the painting up the Monster Manual weeks, if I'm being perfectly honest, because I think that could be quite fun, especially like one of the bigger monsters to potentially run an entire party. But obviously we've got that show coming back on Thursday this week, which I'm really looking forward to. Yeah, I think it could be quite fun. Yeah, I mean, if we could get a whole party together, I mean, we're going to talk all over each other, I'm sure, but like at the same time, if especially for those bigger creatures like a dragon, which they are coming up, it'd be very cool to have multiple people on board. And obviously, painting minis is the aim of the show. So I'm trying to get the Caliban green all over the t-shirt and over the trousers, as that's the main area. She has got like a green webbing belt around the centre that holds some of her pouches and a holster, and some of the white armour also has those straps on there, but I'm going to leave those be for the time being, because I think once I've gone in with the white, I will probably go over with a different, probably like Acadian green, like something from the Imperial Guard kind of list, Warhammer style, because that's pretty much the colour scheme for, obviously, military garb. Yeah, and Herbalist, how is the next book going? I know that you've been busy and your kids have only just gone back to school as well. So, Ello, as well, I know that you said that recently you had only just begun playing D&D. Was that you? And if so, how's it going? Right. She's got a low collar on, and she's wearing a pink choker, as you would do if you're in a police special forces unit. And I'm just using an Army Painter Regiment brush. This is quite a thick brush, but I'm just putting base layers down with this one. I'm in a big campaign and I'm DMing my own campaign. Yes! Yeah, like 6 to 9 months ago, somewhere there. It's been great. Yeah, great. That's awesome. That's freaking cool. Well done on DMing as well. It's such a daunting seat to take up. And go you for, grabbing the dragon by the horns and riding it into that battle. But I think once you find a chemistry with the group that you're playing with, it's just so good. So we have the majority of that green on. I just want to get her neckline where that t-shirt dips down. And we'll leave layer 1 where it is. So has anybody been up to anything good over the past couple of weeks? Because I've missed every one of you. Hello, yeah, I like the DM seat too. I adore being a player, but there's something about bringing a story to the table and tying stories together that I adore, and I very much enjoy that DM seat. So I've had DM burnout a few times, but not enough to dissuade me from dropping the habit. Okay, so base layers on Rebecca. So far, it is just that Caliban green. Let's try and get that way round, and then get it to focus. And again, it's a very dark green, but that's going to act as our base for those trousers and for that t-shirt. Oh, nice. So let's leave her where she is for the time being, and we're going to move on to a Barry. Revolver Barry. Or Barry Barry. Right. You'll have to forgive the nerd goggles. The light on them is quite bright when it comes to the cameras, but my eyes is getting old. Yeah, no worries, Herbalist. Lurk while you get some food. I'm very, very happy for the lurks. And yeah, do let us know about your next book. I know somebody who's very keen. So once more, I'm going to thin down that red. This is corn red, or the equivalent Army Painter is dragon red. And it's a very deep red. And what it's really good for is red base layers. And one of the things I would normally do with this is I would just dry brush it over black or brown. But this time around I want solid colours. So I'm going to try and not paint into the segments between the armour plating on the flak vest, but just try and paint in all of those patches. And then leave the black lines between each one. And again, I do this so that I don't have to do a wash. because I find that a wash now takes away from a lot of my colour. And since not using that technique and focusing more on layering up, especially with like the tricolour system from the Army Painter, which is basically like grab the 3 colours from the that particular line and then layer them up, and you should find that like it does most of the singing for you. Geeky, how goes the Hero Quest minis? Hey! Craig! Dragon School Studios back in the house. Hey buddy, we're back! We've had a couple of weeks off. We've had family down. We've had cut internet connections. We've had just all in all a busy, busy time. So it's awesome to be back and to have you guys here. And yeah, it's hopefully we're getting back into this streaming schedule, along with a load more stuff coming your guys' way. How are you doing, Craig? I hope you've slowed down a little bit since we last spoke. And I hope it wasn't too expensive. So what's nice about Barry and Carissa's vests is they're really high collared at the back. So actually I don't need to worry about the neckline. I can actually go in a minute and just do the hair that's like straight there. I have been dying to play Resident Evil as well all week, knowing that like I'm getting back to like painting these and that we're getting the streams back on. I'm just like, I don't have time, but I want to play it so bad. Fluffy, I want to get you playing it. Oh, so you don't know yet, Dragon School. That's crazy. How long does it take to find out? Who keeps a revolver on their chest? Yeah, you probably wouldn't, Fluff. If I'm being perfectly honest, it's more the suspense. That's the point of the game, because like you know there's going to be zombies, and there's like 1 or 2 bits that make you jump, but the rest of it's all about the suspense waiting to be jumped. Oh, okay. Yeah, we've just had a bank holiday as well, to be honest, so... Alright, does your vest come all the way down? Yes, it does. So, let's grab this bit. So he's got a really nice tan leather holster and strap for his piece. So that's going to be quite easy to do. Oh, nearly knocked over the paint. Wow, you have to pay the fine before the court day, also up to court. So, I'm assuming they will let you know the fine before the court date, right? They're not just going to screw you over and be like, ha ha, got you. Because I don't know what the connection's like in prison. But I mean, I'll still stream with you. No worries, Fluff. Lurk to your heart's content. Okie dokie, let's have a look at Barry Burton. Let's get that one just there. I'm just going to thicken out some of those spots, especially where it's going to be highlighted in the end with a different red, a brighter red. But I just want to make sure that we've got a solid base colour on those areas that we have something like a vivid colour. Obviously, we've got the beard that we need to do as well with Barry, but that's not going to be in red. Right. Alright, so there is how we're getting on with Barry so far. Whoop, let's go that way. And again, it's just a simple dark red. You can see like the black lines where I've left it between the armor platings or where there's going to be a different bit. And that's fine because I'm going to go back in towards the end anyway, and we're going to be painting the black lines back in. So, Ello, if you're still there, I don't know which way round you're doing your mini painting, but a lot of people when they first start, and especially me, I did it all the time. I put some base layers on, I'd get it to a certain point, and then you'd stick a wash all over it, and then hey presto, you're done. Absolutely fine, perfect technique. It's a really good way of learning to paint minis. But as I moved away from washes and just into the layer system, I found that I was still lacking that depth in a lot of areas. So what I started to do was to paint in black lines between things like... so where his trousers will be grey and the flak vest will be red, I will paint a black line between them, like just underneath the flak vest, to give it that separation. And I find that that now works as a more striking paint methods to do, rather than like have the wash like dull down any of the tones or the colours. But that's something I really only recently picked up in the past year or so, and it's a technique that I really do enjoy now. So shall we grab, I'm going to leave Rebecca where she is, and we're going to grab some Necromancer Cloak. I think is probably going to be our closest paint, if I've got any left. Ooh, I might have to darken some Mechanicus Grey. Oh, Necromancer Cloak, there it is. So this is an army paint, and it's fantastic. So it's like it's like a lightened charcoal, and it just offsets from black really, really well, and I like it a hell of a lot. For anything that's like usually like dark trousers like this or like dark greys, it is my standard go-to, and then I highlight with something like Orc Grey or Mechanicus standard Grey. Take some of that over here to thin it down. And again, I'm leaving this quite thin because I don't need it to do a massive coat. I just need it to be thin to sink into some of those areas, and then I can highlight any kind of like clothing pleats or anything else extra later on. I do want it to sink into everywhere though, because we want to change that black to this grey, and then we will add in a lighter grey on top for our highlights, which will then mean that this does all the job of the shading. It's nice and thin. It's going on a nice thin layer, and if I need another layer I will put another layer on, but for now it's all I need just to lighten off those trousers. But the red and the grey is a really good colour combination, and I like that a lot on the character art from the games and films, because Barry makes a show in the films as well. Craig, I really liked your orc, by the way. I know I've been quite quiet in the Badgers paint chat, but yeah, I've been crazy busy. But your orc with the Rogue Trader orc with the pirate hat looks amazing, bud. And Herbalist, I'm really looking forward to seeing your next set of minis coming out. It'd be nice to jump back in and catch some of your streams again as well, now that we're a bit more free. So, that's my pleasure, dude. It's well earned, really. That's the grey there, and obviously that's quite wet there, but it's like an off black or very dark grey, and when that dries it does darken up quite a bit, but I think that's going to end up being a pretty perfect match for those trousers just there. So we will leave Barry and his trousers to dry. I've just noticed, however, he has got some detail on those boots that... Okay, so he's got black and brown boots, and I wonder if they've done that on the mini. They have, yeah. So he's got like patches of suede and leather. So we're going to have to go in and do those individually as well. But we've got the nerd goggles, so we should be fine. Right, so I just realised my Rebecca's got a bit of a lean on as well. I'll get some hot water on that later. So, I mean, she's wearing almost like Converse at this point. How do I want to layer this up? So, let's go with... quite dark hair. I don't want to touch the face just yet, or that neckline. I mean, I guess we're going to have to go in and do the flak vest, but I don't really want to get too much over the skin areas or vice versa when we go in to do those. But I'm going to go down to an Artificer layer brush. This is about the same as, I think, the Insane Detail by the Army Painter. But it's got a nice, really fine point on it for me, and I like this for being a bit more accurate. For saying that, it looks like I've got something stuck to the tip. Please don't be ruined. I need you. Funny story, I was looking at the image of it on my mini factory and I noticed I broke off the bullet belt on the bottom of the bolter. Dude, I do that all the freaking... I do that with like regular minis, let alone 3D printed ones, and like... Ah, I'm so bad for it, and it's just like... I hadn't noticed that you'd broken anything and it looked fantastic. Probably going to do that same grey for her gloves, you know. That could be quite fun, because I can't see her gloves in that photo, but... Yeah, I'm stupidly bad for breaking off parts. It's like I got the AA5 speeder truck for Legion, and it's got these tiny little antennas on it that are stupid thin. Gone. Turned it upside down to paint the bottom of it. Broke them straight off. Fixed it now. Spot paint the bullet belt. What week are you on now? Because we're getting... Like, we're past the halfway point in the year. Like, I realised doing, like, my first roll of the day the other day that I was like, holy crap. We are getting through the year. Week 36. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the full gestation period of a human. Let's have a look. So, should I, with that white vest, it's kind of like an ivory, it's like an off-white. Trying to work out if I should build up through the greys. Goblin Week, yeah, it seems to be in the chat as well, doesn't it? It's Paul Richard, bless him, had like a commission of God knows how many goblins. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put the grey on here, but I'm going to use this as a base to work up through to the white, because I think we'll get a better contrast, which is kind of what's going on with Rebecca's clothing. Yay, I'm correct. I've only had 2 kids, so I shouldn't know that anyway. Yeah, I definitely think going the grey through to the white is probably going to be the best thing here. I don't like this, though. There is like a stray hair on this brush, and this is a newish brush. I wonder if I'll be able to do my eyes as normal with this one. Oh, awesome! So it turned out brown, but I am proud. Good, and you should be proud. Welcome to the mini painting community. It is one of the most rewarding communities and also frustrating hobbies that you can pick up. That's amazing. So tell us about your mini, your character. Is this a character you're playing? What's their race, class? Let us know, fill us in. And then how have you gone about painting that up? The one I've painted is just a monster from D&D, Bloodborne. Sorry. You don't need to say sorry. Bloodborne's very cool. Well done. The question is, did you have a good time and did you enjoy painting the mini? Good, I'm glad it's fun. Yeah, talk away. Tell us about the campaign, tell us about your character. I love hearing other people's stories and I love hearing other people's adventures. It's kind of like the whole fun. And I think that's probably one of the reasons I like being a DM, is because I like to hear the players' stories. I like to watch them unfold. Dry brushing is an interesting one because you sort of have to find the right dry brushing for you and for the mini that you're doing. I do still dry brush, but it's mostly a terrain thing for me now. Again, I try and just layer up. And I'll use it in certain places. I find certain colours work better for dry brushing. So one of those for me is red. I like dry brushing onto brown or black with a dark red, and then I just pick out the edge highlights with a bright red. And then if I want something to be fiery, I'll use an orange after that to take on the corners or the hottest points. And that's that. It's actually relatively simple. But it's a technique that people forget about, I think, that is completely a valid way of painting a mini. And it's another one that you don't necessarily need to do a wash. You can just like start with a dark primer and dry brush your way up through colours, and you'll find that it's a very, very good, valid way of doing it. It gives you this like kind of cartoon grainy look. So that's that grey on. How is Barry doing? Walkie-talkie. Right. So, I'm actually going to grab Jill and Chris here. Because while I've got quite a bit of that grey sat there, I don't want to waste any. So we're going to grab our Pure Tone. We're going to water some of that down again. I'm going to get their trousers done as well. Because they also have quite dark trousers. And although Jill's pictured with blue trousers in the classic game, in the remaster they are a lot greyer. And Chris's is the same as Barry's. Because they're partners. Also, I'm trying to avoid the straps because they are green, and I will paint those up in a green later on. It's also a process that looks very easy when watching someone do it, and it turns out harder than it looks. Yeah, I agree. I think dry brushing is exactly that. It's one of those things where you're like, oh, cool, and you go to do it, and you're like, why the fuck didn't it work for me? So it depends on the what you're after as well from it, because if you're going for the areas that light hits, you want to come down from the top. But if you're going for coverage, you want to go left and right. And then it depends on the print as well. If you're doing a printed mini, there are so many factors. But it's just kind of like, have fun, have a play. One of the other things that can work if you do use a wash is to dry brush, then wash. Don't do dry brushing last. Do it like second, and then stick a wash over it. That's a very interesting technique and works real well. I think that was the end of my Resident Evil playlist. Oh no, we're still going. Just a quiet bit. So, Chris has got a lot of those double straps on his knee pads and stuff, so you have to try and get between them, but doing this grey base layer first, rather than the straps or those colours, means that I don't need to be as neat. Because I can tidy it with another colour afterwards. Oh, hello. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So, okay. So my character in my campaign joined the group recently, like last session. But in the story, the travel between planes isn't any more possible. But because my character was in a very vulnerable state, he was persuaded by the god of war to attack a village, which backfired. So I did, in the moment, travel between planes wasn't any more possible, so my soul was in this limbo state, which one half was on the other side, but the other half was not. Now I have a full soul. That's cool! And because I have half a soul, my body is surrounded by some sort of shadow. That's very, very cool. I like that. I like playing with the planes of existence. My the main campaign that I run for a home group is all based around the planes not being accessible. It's actually called the Convergence, where all the planes are trying to blend together in one because something has happened that I'm not going to reveal. And it's all happening around this one world, Agrath. And yeah, it's from the outside in the astral sea and within space and from the other planes, people are like, what is going on here? And they're trying to study it because they don't know, and this whole world has been missing, but inside the world thinks everything's normal, but there is no planar access and stuff. And yeah, it's been interesting to take the characters through that. I like playing with the planes of existence. So we're going to get Jill's pants done. Let's back down so I can see. And what's nice again about this grey is it will go with the greens on Rebecca and Chris. It's going to go as a nice contrast to the reds on Barry, but it's also going to go really well with the blues on Jill. And I think that I will do her t-shirt in that standard kind of light blue that she has, and then I will probably do her beret and her pauldrons as very dark, like McCrag blue, maybe even like down to like Kraken blue. Something like really deep that will sit well on the black. And then highlight that with a royal blue or something. But because the Necromancer cloak from the Army Painter is within that kind of like bluish grey look, or that colour kind of scale, compared to something like Dark Stone, which is more on the purple and browns, it goes really well with a lot of the colours that we're going to be using for these characters. So as a DM, are you finding that you're now buying minis, painting minis, or I say, like, I know you've just done your first one, but are you like going to be painting minis to put down on a table, or is it all online and you're using a map or an online tabletop system like Roll20? I get to play in some campaigns online, which is really fun. But I do adore being at a table, and I love being able to put down minis and a map for my players. There is a phenomenal feeling when, like, you put something down that you've painted and they're like, whoa! Or something you've built terrain-wise. It's very satisfying. We only play in person, but we don't have terrain yet, and now I'm going to build my own terrain. Yes! That's amazing. I remember being like a really young kid and trying to like melt polystyrene with things like nail varnish to try and build terrain for Tyranids. But yeah, these days I do a lot of I do a lot of phone work and 3D printing, so I get on with that one. And I watch a lot of Black Magic Craft. They're really good if you're getting into it. And now I'm going to build my own terrain, as it looks fairly easy. Some sort of modular system. Nice. Yeah, again, go to Black Magic Craft if you don't already know them. They are a fantastic channel on YouTube, and he does like his own dungeon tiles, and it's all really simple. I've done a few of them with foam and stuff, and yeah, it's just have fun. Just no player is going to turn around and be like, that's awful, I'm not playing. They're just going to enjoy having stuff at the table, so just crack on, have a good time. That's kind of what this hobby's all about. It's what tabletop's all about. Okay. Jill's trousers. Chris's trousers, Barry and Rebecca are all base layered up there. So, let's grab Barry back. Now, which way round do we want to go? So, I'm going to apply the base of the skin tones. So, for Caucasian skin, I actually start with a dark brown. And this is because, although the black is fantastic, it does come through those flesh tones really quite easily. And if I'm being perfectly honest, I use this for darker skin tones as well. So for anybody that's, dark skin tone or light skin tone, I use brown bear or oak brown from the Army Painter. You can also use Rhinox hide or Katachan flesh. They all work pretty well. If I'm going to do a more Asian flesh, I tend to go with Zandori Dust. I know him, but I like the terrain from RP Archive, and yeah, just warned us. She has only 10k subs, so it wouldn't surprise me if you don't know her. I don't, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to... If you've got a link for that, drop it in chat, and I will copy and paste it, and I will go check them out, because I love discovering new stuff, and they might have something that I don't know, or which I hope they do, because I love to learn new things. And that's kind of... this whole hobby, really, is about the community and learning from each other. Oh, I'm looking forward to my next set of browns coming in from the Army Painter, because I'm running low on that one. So, once more, I'm going to thin this down, not massive amounts, and I'm going to go over in a decent layer everywhere that there is... There we go. Let's copy... There we go, got it. Thank you very much. I'll put that into my other browser actually. Paste. I will check out this channel after tonight's stream. Thank you so much. I'm just going to clean off my brush vote because I've got that stray hair again. Right. So we're going everywhere that there is on Barry, who's got this quite dark brown hair, his gloves, anywhere there's leather, those bits on the boots, his skin tones. This is our base layer for the majority of the rest of this mini. And obviously we've got the white of the shirt to do, but that will be probably one of the last bits that we do, along with the Stars logo, because these minis do have the Stars logo on their arms. But I've made a boo-boo. I put that brown over the green in the palette. I thought that green was dry and was a different one. And we've done a nope. So now we are mixing colours, which we do not want to do. We don't want that green coming through. I'm glad I noticed that. So clean it off, and we're going to go again with that oak brown. There we go. That's a lot richer. What I like about this brown is I haven't found one that does the same sort of richness over black from any other company. Just the Army Painter, and it is my standard go-to base layer brown, and it works with so many other brands. With Barry having a lot of leather, including those gloves, I can just go hell for leather and paint a lot of brown onto all of this. And then I'll just use different browns and different flesh colours to pick out raised areas, and that will give us all the separation that we need. Almost like there's a tiny dab of glue or something at the end of this bristle. Really annoying. Right. This is why we need to look after your brushes. Because if you get stray hairs or the paint goes up into the metal area that holds all those hairs, you're just going to end up with so many problems, and you're going to make it hard for yourself. So I definitely don't want to touch the revolver. I want to keep this silver, as I remember Barry's revolver being like really quite bright in the games. I will do the handle in brown. That's it. That classic Magnum 45 like wooden areas on the handle. Trying to get that arm and that finger underneath. Let's grab that there. Crack on with the brown. So I'm a little thin under the arm there, and the primer's a bit thinner there as well, so I'm going to definitely have to layer up those browns again. But as Duncan Rhodes says, 2 thin coats. That's absolutely fine. Less is more, in my opinion. You can always add more. It's harder to take it away. I'm going to go on to the face and the hair. Although that's a pretty brutal mould line right there. I didn't see that before. It's coming right down his face and across his arm. Hopefully I'll be able to paint around that. Hide it a bit better, but I hadn't seen that before. And you can get that a lot. You can not see something until the primer's on. Back of the hair there. I'm just trying not to get it onto the red because obviously the red is brighter than the brown and we don't want it to need too much of a cleanup. Right. We have... So we've got this holster on his chest that is also going to be in those leathers. A little bit of metal work on there too, but that's fine. We can leave that bit black just in the center where the clasp is, and then we'll go over that with a metallic color towards the end when we're detailing. But for now, we are just getting those base layers on. Trying to stop that stray hair on this brush. Really bothering me. I will have to go buy a new brush at some point. Try and paint away from that bit. Though, why is that not playing? Let's go back to the top. And there we go. So... This is where watered down paint, you really, really want to be careful. And I'm just touching it with the tip. Because I don't want it to run in between any of the other red bits. If I can save myself a load of tidy up later, even better. Belt is also brown. See a lot of classic leather on Barry. And we're going to do that pouch at the back of Barry in brown as well. His webbing system. And then I will probably pick out a lot of his leatherwork with XV88 or Dryad Brown, which is a nice, really bright orangey tan. And it should really pop off the Mini. Yeah, I think you're right. I do need a scary alert theme or something. I was trying to get a soundbite for Resident Evil that was like less than 5 seconds that like could be something like Resident Evil, but I don't think I'll get away with that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think my other one, which is a new hand touches the beacon, may also infringe on a few things. But I've seen people on Twitch using bigger ones. The best I can do you at the moment is a playlist that I've set up, which I intend to play while we play this game. And I'm damn looking forward to playing this game. I've been seeing loads of people in the Facebook groups and stuff playing it and saying how much fun they're having. And I'm there just like, I'm going to paint my minis. And then I might read the rulebook. Yeah, exactly. I think like Epidemic, so what I'm using now is royalty 3, and I pay for that. I think it's like £10 a month, and you get like just such a catalogue of music, and it's amazing. But the actual like official owned stuff, Twitch is pretty quick at picking you up on it. And I think there are certain streams I've done where I've had music playing and they've tried to like go, no, this is somebody else's music, and I'm like, well, yeah, I'm not monetizing, so leave me alone. But for streams like this one, which will end up on YouTube, we'll play the rules just in case. Okay, so we've got a lot of that brown is on, and although it looks odd, this is a very good set of first layers to build up colour underneath. And again, it doesn't look like much at the moment, but when we start adding in those extra colours, and we start adding in skin tones, and we start adding in darker colour for the hair and brighter reds on that flak jacket, we are really going to see definition coming out on this mini. So I am very happy with that as a base layer. Just need to get those shoulders, those sleeves. Time to leave work and head home. Dragon Skull, congratulations on finishing another day of work. I feel for you. I'm glad that you said that you got that thing sorted the other week that you were chatting about in chat, in the badges chat, and yeah, I hope it's not been as stressful. Take your time. Don't rush. Don't get another ticket. I am going to get some brown down on some more skin layers. I may not be here by the time you get back home. I know how long it roughly takes you to get back. I'm just trying to get some base layers on tonight, and then we'll carry on this stream another day. But tomorrow, actually, while we are on the subject of upcoming streams, obviously Thursday we've got painting up the monster manual with Richard from Warrior Prince 3D, as always. We didn't do last week because people were away. That's right, I had family down, so I was away. Okay, so it's about 20 minutes, actually. I thought it was longer than that. I might still be here then. We're back on Thursday. We're doing the Bahia. It is a huge mini. I'm not sure if I'll get it done in the hour, but it'll be fun to find out. I'm pretty sure Richard's going to die, because it's a hell of a creature. There's like 7d10 worth of damage, or 10d10. It's crazy. It's a dragon killer, basically, made by giants. So that's on Thursday. Tomorrow, though, we've got a special one for you. So, a guy on Instagram who's local down here from Penzance, a guy called Life Inc. Pete, so Pete, who ran a fundraiser at Geekfest 7, which is here in Cornwall, just over 2 weeks ago. He ran a Build a Monster challenge, where basically people could like come along, build a monster for like a really small amount of money, and then it was all like really fun items, so like half dinosaur toys and stuff like that. And tomorrow I've been asked to judge it and to say what I think is like the coolest, the best, you know, and we'll go for it from there. But that's going to be at 12:30 tomorrow during the day. So if you want to see some funky, cool monsters, come along and tune into that as well, because we will be, having fun here, having a look at what people have been creating, which I love to see. I'm going to grab, what do I want on that? I might go with some skeleton bone and then highlight up, because he's got quite a grimy set of sleeves on him. And it's not just my phone screen. And I think if I start with something like skeleton bone and then work up through some of the whites, that could work really well. And it won't be as striking as using Korax white, or as using a grey underneath. At least with something like maybe necrotic flesh, actually. So these are from the Army Painter. We've got like a necrotic flesh, which is like a greeny cream, and then a bony cream. Haha. So I might start with the. So that's the skeleton bone. That's the necrotic flesh. I think I'm going to start with that, maybe. Ponderous. I could also go in with a tan. and then build it from there. But then that might tie too much into the brown areas on the leatherwork. We're saying that, I've just noticed that there's a hell of a load of leatherwork that I've missed. So, let's grab brown for that pouch there. At the front. Going around there. Also missed those bits on the boots, so I'll go in now and grab those as well. Really impressed with the amount of detail they've actually managed to put onto these minis. But then again, it's Steamforged games, so I shouldn't expect anything less, really. There we go. Nice. I'm worried about this. I don't know what colour to go with. I guess I can always shade in other areas. We're going with the necrotic flesh. We're doing it. It's doing it! It might be a bit too bright for what I need, but let's put a thin layer on. Let's see what happens, eh? Worst thing that happens is I throw it all away and I buy a whole new game just for the 1 mini. That's how it works, right? Yeah, I think that colour's going to work just fine, actually. It's the only real bright colour on Barry that kind of pops off is his sleeves that poke out of that jacket. No. Oops. I mean, no. Oof. Yeah, scorched earth. I mean, I could just buy it again, Fluff. But it's not out at retail yet, is it? God. Actually, technically, Fluff, I haven't bought this. Just saying, I've never bought a copy of Resident Evil, the board game. Because somebody bought it for me. Yeah, so now I need to buy it. There we go. Yeah, we're going to go with that. So, that is the colour that we're going to go with for the sleeves. And obviously, again, right now this is just a base layer. But in time, we're going to add some shading to it. We're going to add some more detail and more definition to bits as we layer up. As for base layers on Mr. Burton, we are there. So let's grab Rebecca. Yeah, exactly. Don't throw away a gift, or else you won't be getting anything else. All right, all right, all right. Let's not jump the gun. You know. Let's not threaten me with no more nice things. I like nice things. Right. Rebecca wants more. So Rebecca has really, really, really fair skin, but we're still going in with this brown to begin with because it works wonders for the flesh tones as we build them up. Very small areas to paint on her arms because she's got really narrow arms. I know, Fluff. I am very grateful for Fluff. I'm very happy. Absalom, how you doing? Great to see you. I have been away for a couple of weeks because we've had family down, and unfortunately I've got obligations socially to interact with those people. But it was nice. It was a welcome break, but I'm very, very, very happy to be back. Hopefully getting into more of a routine streaming. Hopefully catching more of everybody else's streams now that I've got a bit more free time. How the devil are you, Absalom? I have missed all of you guys in chat so much. And I'm very grateful to be back. Lost the internet briefly yesterday as the cable got cut. Fluffy here, my technician, managed to fix it for us. I'm good. Sorry, I missed your dice giveaway in the Resi box. Hey, it's fine. You don't need to say sorry. Life gets in the way sometimes. Like I said, like the past 2 weeks, I've had family down, so I've had barely any time to stream. But the dice giveaway happened, and it was awesome. And actually, a local miniature painter who lives about an hour and a half up the road won it, and yeah, it was really cool. They're a phenomenal mini painter, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing what they do with the dragon from Richard. There is another giveaway happening. The one on TikTok, if you're on there, we finally breached the 1,000 followers mark. So we are doing just for one single chunk on there. Obviously, the next big one for us is going to be the 1,000 subs on YouTube, and that'll be the next one there. But we'll make sure that we put out loads of posts before that happens and give people time. But yeah, no, you were missed, but don't feel like you were obligated to or forced into watching the shows. I'm just grateful to have you here. I hope you've been keeping well. I'm so tired. So Rebecca's got this really she's got a round neck tee on, and it means that all of the back of her neck is exposed and all around the side. But she also has this pink choker around her neck, which obviously, as a cop, you would wear. But she does have quite dark hair, so I'm going to leave that at the top in the primed black. I'm going to go from there. So. Standard issue uniform but for RCPD, isn't it? Yeah. And Barry and Chris wearing the... I watched the box opening on Twitch. I love the Resi series. I thought they should have done minis of the team like they appear in the vid game, all blocky and a bit Lego looking. Yeah, I loved Resi 1. It was one of my first games, and they did actually do a retro pack which came with it, which has got all blocky cards and stuff. But I think I would have a hell of a time trying to paint pixelated minis. But I do know what you mean, though. It would have been really cool to see that kind of style brought out in a mini. So that paint's thickening up, so I'm not going to do Chris or Jill's just yet. We're going to focus on trying to get the base layers done on Rebecca and Barry, and then I will call it there for the night. Because we've tested the internet connection and it is working, which is what we were after. So, tiny little bit on the tip of her pistol. I'm going to need a bit more of that Caliban green. So it's going to take a little tip-tap-taparoo. Little bit of water. And then we're going to go into this crevice just here where I've missed a little bit. I'm going to grab that first aid spray, which is quite cool that being the team medic they put that on her. Then I am going to paint the green onto those straps on that flak vest. So see, Rebecca's quite a slender character, so all of these bits are like really tucked away. Hard to get to. It's alright, we will don these nerdy goggles and do our best. Just gotta be careful with that damn stray hair on this brush. Okay, we go again down the shoulder straps. So I'm using that Caliban green again, and the reason I didn't do that to begin with is because there's a lot of grey underneath those straps. So I'm going in with the Caliban green now, and then I'll be using the same highlighted greens that I use for the mid-tones on the trousers and the shirt, but I'll be doing that just on the straps. Sorry to hear that. We are here for chats company. Depression, and I lost track of time, which is why I missed the dice giveaway. I was there the next week thinking Ian's a bit late today. Oh man, yeah. Sorry I missed that message there, buddy. I'm really sorry about that. Yeah, depression is a motherfucker. As I suffer with PTSD and depression and anxiety, and yeah, I feel you there. I know that Fluffy does as well. I know that a lot of our community members have mental health issues and stuff like that as well. So if you do ever, just fire us a message if you ever want to kind of like rant off, or if you want to just unload anything, that's absolutely fine. We are very, very happy to listen, because fuck me, it sucks. And sometimes an impartial ear, or sometimes somebody you don't know is better or easier to talk to. But you're not alone there. I know that you can feel alone, and yeah, it's hard. But yeah, we're happy to always be an ear if you need it. If I don't instantly reply, I do apologise, but I will always do my best to try and get to messages and whatnot. Yeah, Geeky, I know that you've struggled as well, and we had an amazing. I met Geeky the other month. It was about 2-3 weeks ago now. 2 weeks ago. That's because I'm doing a custom order for them, and yeah, we had a long chat about mental health and stuff, and the struggles that we've been through, and yeah, it was really sweet. And to which end, Geeky, I pulled something out of the pot today, and I think it looks fantastic. I'm hoping by the end of the week to have them done. But I just want to make sure they've cured properly. I want to make sure that everything's nice and neat, because this is very special. So, base layers it in. Okay, I need to get her webbing, and I need to get her pouches, and they are an ever so slightly different green, so I'm going to go with a different base colour. Buttery biscuit base colour. So, with Rebecca and her colour scheme, it is a standard kind of military olive drab, and although it looks a lot darker in this particular image, what I remember from the games is being quite a pale khaki like that. So that's what we're going to work towards as the highlights, and this is going to be our mid-tone. But this is also going to be the webbing colours for her straps and stuff, that mid-tone there. Am I painting the big plant thing? Yeah, so Plant 42, I think that was called. Yeah, I'm going to hopefully be doing them all. I'm going to get the core box out of the way, especially the main characters, because everybody loves to play with painted minis, especially when it is your character. And because they're expansions, I will probably end up doing the snake first. Yawn. Forgot its name then. Along with... I can always remember it's just called Tiger, but it's actually got a full something tiger, which is the name of the big spider. You're going to be spammed with mentions. I have loads of posts for them as he was too poorly to pose. Oh. I'm looking forward to it. And you honour me, sir. Yeah, so I am going to be doing the level 4, the L42. L42? Is that the name of the plant? I'm going to have to Google it. I'm pretty sure it's plant 42. L42? Audrey 2. Let's just call it that. Oh, it's just called Plant 42. There we go. I'm not crying, you're crying. Were there some ape-like creatures in the game in one of the lowest levels? Yeah, so there were hunters, which are kind of like giant lizard men in the first game that come up about halfway through the game and they'll just take your head off in one swipe. That was fucking awful. Then in the remaster there was the chimeras, which are like the iron spider looking for insectoids. There was the big snake, there was Plant 42, there were the Crimson Head zombies, there was the Tyrant, and then there was, in Resident 2, the Lictors. Yeah, Hunters always scared the crap out of me. I just ran when I was a kid. Now I'm just like, you know what? Shotgun. It's great. The Moth. Was the Moth 2, 3, or 4? I feel like it was 2. Yeah. But there were some really, really cool fucking bad guys. And Resident Evil 2 and 3 are already games that Steamforged do. And I never backed them and I never got them. But now I'm like, I'm going to go through 1 and then I might get number 2 and number 3. And number 4 was announced during the rollout for this game, which is awesome because I liked Resident Evil 4. And it'll be interesting to see that it's not zombies and that it's obviously like the infected people of that village. So that'll be quite fun. Right, so we're going to grab, this is Death World Forest. And it's a very dark khaki. Take some of that off. I'm going to let a lot of the black do the singing from the primer. I'm going to put a nice thin layer for now, and then we'll see what we need to add on later on. And again, I'm trying to keep this to being a no wash mini. But what I might find is that if this green is too bright to begin with, then I might have to dial it down in some way. But we'll see. I should get away with it just being fine. We'll see. Oof, that was close. Old slip of the hand. Last time I did that, I nearly took my finger off because I did it with a knife! It's 4 in the village with the pitchfork. Yes, it is. I actually got to play the VR version of it last week because my brother-in-law brought it down, and it was freaking cool. I kept dying because I was so used to the video game one that I was shit at it in VR. I need to look up as well which way round the green crosses on Rebecca's armor, because I can't remember if it's a green circle with a white cross or if it was just a green cross in the middle of a white circle, but I will check that out for when we go into the detailing phase. For now, I'm just getting this webbing straps and other areas done. Let's go. There's that bit there, there's that bit there. Again, those straps are like right underneath her arms, and it's really hard to get in there. So I'm very glad that we have the dental goggles. Did you ever play Parasite Eve 2? No, I didn't. I don't think I've heard of that. Fill me in, what is it? I must know. Okay, so we're now going to grab that first aid spray and we're going to do the tin around that, and then we'll put the white on. It's probably one of the last things. As for a base layer, ooh, let's get rid of those stray hairs on that brush. Right. How have I got glitter on it? Oh yeah, there's mica powder in there. Damn it. Right. Rebecca and Barry are base layered. So, this is probably where we'll leave the stream tonight. And then I will carry on with these ones throughout the week. Actually, no, let's just take her off that so you can see it. It was very, like, res. A survival horror set mostly in a hotel in Major Desert and a secret underground base. I played it to death. Each time you play through, you get more gear to play it again. And it had spells, psi powers in it as well as guns and that's really cool. I like the sound of that. That sounds very, very cool. I played a lot of Silent Hill and a lot of Dino Crisis. But no, I hadn't heard of that one before. Yeah, so the base layers are on. And again, they don't look like much right now. But they will layer up with those colours now relatively well. So we've got all of those base greens on there for Rebecca. We've got the brown as the base of the skin tone. When you see Barry, I keep thinking of EastEnders. Yeah. Barry. And yeah, we will work up from there on the next character stream. We'll also try and get Chris and Jill base layered up properly, because at the moment we've only got those trousers on there for the tacticals. But yeah. Ricky! Wow. Spot the guys from the UK. Right. I'm going to disappear, guys. I'm going to go back to the house. I'm going to go have a cup of tea. I'm going to chill out. I will be back tomorrow, lunchtime, 12:30, with Life Inc. Pete, where we'll be doing the judging of the monster building fundraiser. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what was created. I'm honoured to be asked to judge it with him. Guys, if you ever need anything, get in touch. Don't let those dark clouds just hover over you. We are here. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow. And may the dice gods be ever in your favour. See you around.